Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Deborah, and today I'm wanting to finish off this journal that's been sitting here for ages. I've done a little bit of it, and it's actually called, it's from Couture Creations. It's called Gentleman's Emporium, the paper, and it's got papers, and I think that it also had some other things in it, but anyway, that's the name of the paper if you're looking for it. It's in really pretty sort of, it's male colours, and so it's certainly, you know, stuck firmly in that masculine area, but I think that you could just use it as a female journal as well if you're looking for something, because the papers are really, really pretty, and it doesn't really matter if they've got things like billiard sticks, or if you wanted to cover this you could, but I think it wouldn't make a nice journal, not just for a man but really for anyone. So I've had this done for so long, and I've had it all sort of sitting there in its box with a lot of other papers as well, and thought today would be the day that I need to finish this, because it's just been hanging around way too long and I want to get it bound and ready, and I'll probably end up putting it in my Etsy shop, I think. It's just beautiful paper, and again, it's Couture Creations paper, which I don't use very much of, but it's super, super thick and luscious. Now, as you can see, I've done a few little things already, and oh look, I've even put a little pocket in there with a tag that I had totally forgotten about, but there you go. So what I like to do with using scrapbook papers in journals is I like to intersperse coffee dyed or tea dyed paper in them as well. I think it gives a really luscious sort of feel to the journal. At the moment it's feeling a little bit thin, a little bit too sort of manufactured, and I'd really like to step it up. So I've got a few other things I'll try and put in as well. But just these tea dyed papers that I've done, you can see that they're sort of, this one's darker on one side than the other. That's just how I dye my papers. I dye them in a big bunch, like, you know, about 300 at a time, which is probably why I don't get some of the darkness all the way through that you'll see other people have. But for me, it's just easy. Like the last time I dyed papers was months ago, and I still haven't run out. I think I've, you know, nearly run out, but not quite. And I still think you get that nice look. The other thing I do when I dye my papers is I iron them after I've dyed them, and I know people don't do that, but for me, I think that gives a really nice feel to the paper. So it's totally up to you. It's, you know, you're the one dyeing the paper and deciding whether or not you want that sort of lovely, beautiful crinkly look that you'll get if it's not ironed, or you want something that's a bit flatter. Now also with these papers, because I cut my papers at 8-inch, they're going to be a little bit higher than what the book is, so I probably have to trim those off. So I guess I'll determine that I need probably maybe 5 or 6 of these. I sort of like to put one between each of the scrapbook pages, so let's just see how many I actually need. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe a few more, 7, 8, 9. So I think I'm going to do 9 of these papers and just trim one edge of them off. And if you like, you can then re-ink that edge, but I really don't bother. If you put it down the bottom, you really don't need to bother about re-inking it. And because they're thin, you can pretty much trim all of those off at once. So let's just put these to one side so I know how many I've got to trim. And I wanted to put a few more things in here as well. So with this, this is a piece of just thin paper. I think it might be some tracing paper or something, I don't know. I used ink on this one to create that texture. I didn't actually dye it. It may be a piece of paper out of an old book. I'm really not sure anymore what it is. It's been there for so long, but it will be a good size in terms of that. So I'll probably end up putting a piece of that in as well, just for having something nice and grungy in there, for no other reason than that. Don't need to cut that one down. And then I do have some sort of plainer pieces, and also this that I ended up dyeing as well. I'm not sure if I'll use that yet. I wanted to try and use up the scraps though. I've also got this envelope. I thought that might be nice to use actually. On one of the pages we could put an envelope. Now I need to be careful when I'm doing this, because I don't really want to cover up anything like that or this, because I purposely cut things so that I had these images on the edges. This I can cover up, so I don't want to wrap this around like this necessarily, because then I'm going to cover up that too. So I don't know if I'll do that. I'll try and find maybe this one here. This one would be fine because you can wrap it around on this side, but you'll still be able to flip that up and see it. So I think this is where I'm going to put this one. And I may change the order of these pages. I don't know yet. I've just put them together so that I could start on doing this. So as a starting point, I am going to stick this down. Let me get my double-sided tape, if I can find it. Here it is. I think I'll use my double-sided tape. There's already sticky stuff on there, but because this has been tea dyed, I don't trust that to stay on, so I'm going to put some more of this on just to be super sure that that's going to be the case and it doesn't pop off when it's being turned. There's sort of a bit of a safety net really, and I've cut that a bit too long, so now I just have to trim it off so it fits. That's fine. Now before I put that down, actually I might try and put something in here just to hide this. I've got all these little bits and bobs left over, so I'm wondering if I can use one of them, like this one for example. This is just a strip that I took off, so no point in keeping it. I may as well try and use what I can within the journal. As I always say, you've paid for the paper, you may as well use as much of it as you can. Now, I could put this into my scrap stash, and I probably will once I'm finished if I've got anything left. I'm really hoping not to have anything left though. I'm really hoping to get this all in. Now make sure that that hasn't got a bump in it. See, I don't know if you can probably see there, but when that comes along, you need to make sure it's sitting nice and smoothly. You don't want it to have any bumps in it because that means you need to trim it off more on the end. And I also need some glue to do this one. Again, could use double-sided tape for this one as well, but I'm just going to use the glue. Just pop this in here so I get that nice and glued down, and slip this up. I guess with glue it's a bit more forgiving, so you've got time to kind of position it. With the double-sided tape, particularly with this tiny strip I'm using, once it's in, it kind of sticks then, and then you can't kind of get it out again. So I will put it in now. I do want to decorate the front too, especially where the postcode is. That looks quite yummy in there though, doesn't it? Yes, okay. So we'll stick this down, and then I'll work out what I'm going to put on the front. Now, I don't know if I'm going to add anything else in terms of other product at this point. I kind of want to stick to just using the scrapbook paper and then see how I go. Make sure I get that so it'll fold down nicely. Now I've got this, which is also a piece from the paper that I've cut out. So I could put this on the front like that. That might be nice, a nice simple thing to do. I don't think you need to over embellish. I mean, some things I do go a bit crazy on, but mostly I try and keep them fairly plain and simple, especially if I'm selling them, because other people might want to add their own things in. You know, just because you buy it, it doesn't mean it has to stay like that. You can add things in or move things around or do whatever you want, I think. Just move that over a little bit. Now I've got that postcard, and it's covering up the box of postcode boxes that were down the bottom of this envelope. So that's that one done. And I'll see what else I've actually got in here. I think there's a bit. Oh, I've also got the cover. I don't know. I've kept the cover at the moment because I quite like all those little squares of paper that's over them. Got a couple of the cover. And I also have, looks like I've got some stickers, yeah. Okay, there's stickers. Amazing what you find when you haven't seen something for a while and you didn't realise you had all these things. And I have more of these little things here, which are the little tag quotes, or they're not really journal cards because they don't have the writing space on the back, but maybe they could be a pocket or, you know, a tuck spot possibly. So maybe that's what I'll do, is I'll make those into a tuck spot now. So I've got all those papers in there now, and now I want to just go through and put some more things in. So I have those things that I've trimmed up, if I can find them again. Here they are. I thought these could be good as tuck spots throughout the journal. So it'll also make this page look a bit better if you've got something on there. Sort of tart the page up a little bit, really. So if I put it there, then I can make something to go in that tuck spot. I may not get to that part today, but we never know. Just a little bit of glue down two of the sides and you've got a nice little tuck spot in there. And they're quite handy actually, because you don't have to worry about the size of the item that's going in, because you really only have to be as small as what your page is. So you can put anything in because it can hang out the side and the top. So I quite like that, that sort of thing. You can even put something like this in here. I think I'll try and do a bit better than that though and get some things in. Now I also have some stickers, so I'm wondering whether I will put some of these into the journal itself. I think I'll put some of them in, I'm not sure yet. Seeing what they are. Let's just go through. You can see this paper here was obviously one of the ones that was on the bottom or top of the stack, probably the top, because it's got really nice grunginess to it. And it feels a bit thicker. It might not even be copy paper actually. I may have used, I've got some paper that's a little bit thicker than copy paper. So I may have actually used that when I did the tea dyeing instead of the this one, which is definitely the copy paper. So I could put like things down the bottom here. What's this one? Got this little bicycle thing I could pop down here just to add a bit of interest as you're flicking through the journal. I think it's good to put things in that you sort of can see and they're a bit visual. You could still plenty of room to write on this page. You don't need to worry about that. And I've also put that piece in, which is the really thinner paper that I've dyed with some ink. And then on this page here, because that stripe is quite in your face, I think I'm going to put this in just to tone it down a bit. So another tuck spot in there and something that will go in there. I'll have to make some tags and things, and that's also what I can use the leftover bits and bobs for, to make up some tags to go in it. Put that one in there like that. And I'm not sure if I'm going to use any more of those. They're quite cute, but we'll put them to one side for now. I want to see, oh, here's some more. Yeah, there's stickers as well. So there's quite a few stickers in this pack. I think it must have come as a set. I really can't remember anymore. And then this here, I'm not sure what I was doing with this one. Clearly I was doing something. Okay, trying to work out what that was for. Whether it just looks like I've scored it for some reason. It does look like that, doesn't it? Okay, I think I'm going to cut it down because I don't know what I've scored it for. So let's just trim it down and then it can go in as a folding thing. It might even go in one of those tuck spots actually. Might be the place for it. Then it can pop in here like this. So you've got a little tuck spot. And you can write on that. That is light enough to write on and be able to read it. The background's quite pale. So a little booklet in there looks good. And I've got some other things here. I've got another piece of paper which I might make a pocket out of. Again, this one, which is like super bright. I think I'm going to make a pocket and put over the top of that because it's a little bit too much, isn't it? And I'll just grab my pencil, mark where that has to go. So I want it to go about here. And I'll pop it on there so it becomes a pocket. I've still got that on the back. This is on the front, but with this one I want to use this piece here. I don't want to use the plain piece for the pocket, so it's just going to have to be the way it is. And then I think I will notch it as well. I'm now going to do a notch in that one and then take this other piece and notch it as well, so I've got the two notches, and then one can go in this side, and it doesn't really matter which way up that goes because it's patterned. Probably that's the back, isn't it? Maybe I'll put this one down here. Yeah, I might put that one down on this side because I think I do want the darker pattern at the top. And that'll create a little tuck spot, or a pocket actually, but a long skinny pocket. You can put something in at the back here. And then on the front cover, I think I'll repeat. No, I can't because that's there. All right, let's find somewhere we can repeat. I don't want that one. No, I'm trying to find a place where I can do the repeat. I'll possibly do it here, break that up a bit. Yeah, okay, let's do that. I think I'll cut this down and make a pocket here too. You can never have enough pockets really. Again, I'll just measure that across and mark it so I can see where I need that. That's okay. I was thinking it was a bit too short, so 5.5, 2.5, 2 3/4. There you go. Just do a little notch. I don't want to cut into the coin. No, I don't want to cut into that, so I've just done a small notch. So I've just found that all this came with all these postcards, which clearly I've cut out at some point, and I wondered about just putting them into the journal, just popping them into those pockets and tuck spots. I put one at the back here. I might turn that around as well so it has a bit of a contrast between the two. And they look like they've been aged. They haven't been, they're part of the paper, but they actually look like they've been aged, which is really nice. I think I had another pocket or two in here, didn't I? Can't remember now. I didn't realise there was another page there in between. That was kind of stuck together a little bit, so I didn't realise that that was the case, but it was. Okay, what am I going to put in there? Maybe I can put this here like this and create another pocket out of that. Again, just marking it so I know where to cut it. You can mark it or you can measure it. I just find marking it's easier rather than measuring. And I'll just check the size of that. It should be around the same, 5.5. A little bit shy of 5.5, so 5.5, sorry, 5 is 2.5, so I'm going to kind of go there as my centre. That looks okay. And do a little notch there. And let's get this one onto the page as well. Now I have to find another piece of copy or tea-dyed paper and put in, I think, between these two, because although with the pocket there they shouldn't stick together again. And I'll put the postcard, let's see, where's the other postcard? I'll pop the postcard in there as well, so we've now got that. And I'll see what else I've got. I think this might be the last postcard. I've got quite a bit left, but I do want to make some tags and things, so I might just not worry about the fact that I've got a fair bit left at the moment. I really like this too. Maybe I'll trim this out and make this into a tuck spot down here. And then I might just put the postcard in there while I'm at it. I think that's pretty good. I'm going to go and make some tags and things, and also I will come back next time and I'll do the cover for this. So once I've got those tags made, I may do them on camera, I'm not really sure. And of course these things here, I'll show you how to use these as well next time. So I hope you join me for that. For now, that's all. Thanks for watching. This is Deborah. Cheers.